Proper conversation, the unconscious signals we send out when talking to each other. Communication has rules, and when we understand the unconscious exchanges and the underlying validations, we learn to communicate better. There is always the content level and then the relationship level. There are the verbal and non-verbal aspects. There is a power or the rank aspect, which is described as the horizontal or vertical level of communication. Who really has the upper hand when we talk? Are we equals, or where is my position in this conversation? There are also opinions and perspective aspects. And finally, the concrete and abstract aspects. Every time we speak, we need some form of response or reaction. So, according to Friedman Schultz on tone, 4 messages are always sent out each time we talk, and 4 messages are equally received by our listener. First, the unconscious disclosure of our personality and what we primarily need. Then the factual content, which gives the pure information. The relationship we have with the listener comes through in the tone and the context. And finally, the appeal or the physical reaction we really await. Every human has these 4 separate ears and can easily differentiate a demand from a simple request. So every single phrase is loaded with information we always take for granted, and it becomes even extra complex in very formal settings. We become vulnerable if we cannot understand these aspects and learn better ways to protect ourselves. Every conversation can take a factual direction or an emotional direction. So these are some tips when conversing. A simple conversation should, however, not become a science or some strenuous event. It's a good practice to be aware of the underlying aspects while understanding what we give away or take on us when talking. It's a studied area, and we send out signals without even taking note, which grants us advantages or disadvantaged positions. In conversations, seek and establish eye contact. We should approach slowly and speak clearly. The direction, pace, and content of a conversation are up to the person concerned. It is a good practice to speak slowly and with emphasis. We should mirror our gestures too. We should adopt the ongoing tone. We should avoid insisting on the reality of our narrative. Observing and collecting information about drives and perspective is also a good way to carry out a conversation. We should perceive and address current feelings. Equally, we should not be fooled. Even digital conversations carry these characteristics, so we can't hide behind gadgets to communicate. There is a danger of being completely misunderstood because of the digital filters, and since we generally try to present ourselves digitally better than we really are in person. It's a good practice to learn proper conversation just to be on the safe side. Some people develop faster than others, yet others will surely catch up on time to understand what is or was going on. When we learn to communicate intelligently, we become consistent in picking up elements of the conversation matter. We easily pick up pretense for what it is. We understand sincerity, accuracy, and authenticity in our conversations. Every human has purposes, and when we perceive that somebody is unaware of our own purposes or has no time in our purposes, we resist. On the other hand, we find ways to produce value and we collaborate. The growth process continues, and it's all about love.